guys, welcome to this week's devotions. I'm glad that you could join us. And this week, I want to get our text from Daniel chapter 5. Daniel chapter 5, starting in verse 26. And it says this: This is the interpretation of the message, many, M-E-N-E. God has numbered your kingdom and put an end to it. Tekel, you have been weighed in the scales and found deficient. Pare, your kingdom has been divided and given over to the Medes and the Persians. When Belteshazzar gave orders, and they clothed Daniel with purple and put a necklace of gold around his neck and issued a proclamation concerning him that he now had the authority as the third ruler in the kingdom. That same night, Belteshazzar, the Chaldean king, was slain. So Darius the Mede received the kingdom at about the age of 62 years old. So this week, we've had a pretty significant moment in Canadian history. Our Prime Minister, Trudeau, had resigned several weeks ago. He was put in this interim Prime Minister, and then this week, there's been an election called. Now, when there's an election in the country, it brings forth all sorts of emotions, right? And when there's all sorts of emotions involved in anything, it can lead to debates and fighting and frustration. And we've actually seen that, right? We've seen it on when you turn the news on and you see the experts weighing in on their opinions and supporting each party, and they fight and kind of debate about different policies. You go on social media, and when you're on there, you see someone put their support for a preferred leader, and suddenly you see like 1,000 comments of people name calling and fighting and bickering. And so not only that, but you see families divided, right? You see friends divided over things like this. And the reality is right now in our country, there is a lot of frustration and there's a lot of emotions involved in something like this. So my question for you that I want to hopefully answer this week is this: how are we supposed to respond as Christians? When there's so much frustration around us, when there's so much emotion involved and so many things kind of happening all at once, how are we supposed to respond as Christians? Well, the Bible teaches us that God is in control, right? We look to God. But I think the issue arises many times is that we forget that God's in control. Right? I think that happens an awful lot. The reality is that the leaders can run their campaigns. The leaders can say whatever they want. The media can propagate and support whatever leader they want. We can even have foreign interference from other governments, as we've seen in the past few elections. And all of these things can happen in our country, but the reality is this: God is the one in control, right? The governments can attempt to interfere and people can interfere, but the reality is that God is still in control. And it's from this basis that I want to kind of lead you and talk to you this week, because I want to remind you this week how powerful God really is. And my hope is this: that if we can be reminded that God is in control and that God is all powerful, that as all the frustration surrounds, as all of the name callings happening, as all the emotions are taking place, that you can find peace in your heart, that you can find hope in your heart through this whole thing, and not get caught up in the emotions and not get caught up in the frustration, but that you can realize that you can sit back and relax because God is in control. So I hope that you can join me this week for the rest of these devotions as we work through this. So hopefully you'll join me, and until we meet again, may God bless you.